God's peace be with you. Our ultimate aim as Christians is to make it to heaven. However, it will not be that easy to do so. We need to work at it. We need to strive for holiness, without which no one can see the Lord. Unfortunately, many Christians are not striving for holiness, and thus entry into the eternal kingdom of God. But our desire to make it into the kingdom should be so intense that we will seem to be forcing our way in. Jesus himself tells us in Matthew 11 verse 12 that the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent are taking it by force. The kingdom of heaven belongs to those who will take it by force and violence. What does this mean? First, Jesus is not condoning violence in the way we normally understand violence, which is the inflicting of injury or damage by rough or abusive treatment. In fact, God says in Ezekiel 45 verse 9, "Put away violence and oppression, and do what is right and just." But there are other definitions of what it means to be violent. It can mean an action proceeding from or marked by great physical force, or overwhelmingly forcible, or exhibiting intense emotional or mental excitement, or passionate, or characterized by intensity of any kind. Thus, what Jesus is speaking about is a kind of determination, intensity, zeal, doggedness, passion, which should characterize our pursuit of holiness and the kingdom. It is a measure of the extent of the effort we put into it, an extent comparable to warriors storming a city during a siege. It is a measure of the extent to which a man who is desperate would go to, being determined to achieve his purpose no matter what, and allowing nothing to stand in the way. No one simply drifts into the kingdom. No one makes it to heaven in first-class comfort. So what must we do to enter into the kingdom? We need to become violent Christians. How? First, to become holy, we need to do violence to ourselves. We need to strip ourselves of anything which will hinder us from being holy. Jesus said that if your hand is your difficulty, cut it off. If your foot is your undoing, cut it off. If your eye is your downfall, tear it out. As Paul puts it in Colossians 3 verse 5, put to death whatever in your nature is rooted in earth. Second, we need to persevere in prayer. Prayer is our lifeline to God, and we need to be violent in our relationship with God. We have to be determined and single-minded in protecting our daily quiet time with the Lord. Our prayer should be done with the persistence and intensity of the widow seeking her rights before the corrupt judge, who finally decided to settle in her favor for fear that she would do him violence. Prayer is the foundation of our relationship with God and is a major key to our growing in holiness. Third, we need to do violence to Satan's dominion. This means we must evangelize aggressively. We are at war. We are to storm Satan's strongholds in order to help liberate men and women enslaved by him. God has raised an army of holy warriors, and we are to smash the walls of darkness and annihilate the foe. We are not called to a relaxed, complacent, comfortable Christianity. We are called to a radical one, where violence is the key to entering the kingdom of God. God bless you.